Hello everyone, welcome to our talk today. So today we're going to discuss concurrent filing, which is filing your I-140 and I-485 together, and EAD, which is your employment authorization document, as well as expedited processing, which is a process that allows you to file for your EAD and advanced payroll a lot more quickly. So as you know, there are various steps in applying for and receiving your green card. So for any employment-based green cards, it involves that you submit I-140 form, and the USCIS first has to approve that, and later on you can submit an I-485, which is your background check and an actual application for the green card. And in many cases, you would have to wait a while in order for you to submit your I-485 and also for you to actually receive your green card. So USCIS has designed a procedure called concurrent filing, in which you can file for your I-140 and I-485 together in certain cases. So the situation may change depending on the visa circumstances, but as of now, for any applicants outside of mainland China and India, and who are considering to file for NIW employment-based green card, they can use concurrent filing. So what that means is that when you're filing I-140, you can file for your 485 together. In this way, you can obtain your green card a lot quickly. So just to say, one downside may be that if in any case your I-140 gets denied, then unfortunately you would not be able to get your I-485 filing fee refunded. So that's one thing to keep in mind. So you should consult an attorney and ask for their advice before making a decision. So what would be another, advantage of doing concurrent filing? So another advantage is that you can also file for your EAD. You can file the I-765 for your EAD and also I-131 for your advanced parole together. As you might already know, EAD basically allows you to work for mostly any employer in the US without an additional work visa. And advanced parole is for you to leave the country and come back without needing another visa. So these two things are very important if you're thinking of continuing to work in the US while waiting for your green card, or traveling outside of the country and returning to the US while waiting for your green card. So we're going to go a little bit more in detail on the Employment Authorization Document, or EAD. So the USCIS issues around 1 million EAD a year. And there are a lot of beneficiaries, including international students in the United States, DACA recipients, as well as H-4 visa holders, which are basically the families or spouses of H-1B visa holders. So employment-based green card applicants waiting for their I-485 can also use the EAD while they wait. But one thing to keep in mind is that you cannot always file for EAD concurrently with all your other applications. So for instance, if you're holding a J2 visa, which is a spouse and family visa for J1 visa holders, you cannot file for EAD while you also file for J1, J2. So you would have to wait for USCIS to approve your J2 visa before you can file for an EAD card. And the same thing applies for G4 visa, which applies to beneficiaries that are working in international organizations and their families. So in order for them to also obtain an EAD, they would have to wait until their G4 visa is approved. So as you can see, this procedure can be a little bit complicated, so it would be best to consult an attorney before you move on with your case. So another scenario we want to consider is when, for instance, you file for your green card, you're waiting to receive it, but your employer wants you to continue working, and you've also filed for your EAD, but you have not received your EAD card yet. So what can you do in that case? There is one potential solution, which is that you can use an expedited processing. So expedited processing basically involves you calling the USCIS office and explaining them your situation and saying that you would need your EAD a lot sooner. This is because mostly EAD requires around 3 months and a little more to be approved and for you to receive the EAD card and start working. So there are certain circumstances that you can explain that might be helpful in expediting this process. And one may be that currently you're under a financial burden, or that in the future, if you don't get your EAD soon, you foresee yourself being in a financial burden. So if you are able to prove these circumstances, USCIS is likely to grant your request. And also for advanced parole, if you have, for instance, a relative abroad who is not feeling well and you might have to go check up on him or her, that could be a reason for them to grant you an expedited processing on the advanced parole. And just one side note is that expedited processing is different from premium processing, which is used when you're filing for instance, I-140. And premium processing is basically you pay an extra so that you can have your case adjudicated within 15 days and you can hear back the result. But expedited processing is for EADs and also advanced parole. So these are some of the topics that we discussed today. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us and we'll be back with more videos. Thank you.